Daewon stood in the cargo bay of Nexus 7, checking his tablet for the morning shipments. The space station hummed around him, alive with the sounds of 1,000 different species doing business. He had been working here for 6 months now, and he still felt amazed every time he saw an alien walk past. Some had wings. Some had tentacles. Some looked like walking rocks. The galaxy was stranger and more wonderful than he had ever imagined back on Earth. The cargo bay doors hissed open. Daewon looked up from his tablet and felt his stomach drop. Vormalik was walking toward him. The Rakthari warrior stood 9 feet tall. His body was covered in black scales that looked like armor. His claws could slice through metal. His amber eyes glowed in the dim light of the cargo bay. When Vormalik walked, other species moved out of his way. Even the big ones. Even the dangerous ones. Daewon had seen Vormalik around the station before. Everyone knew about him. He worked as a security consultant, but really he was just a bully who made money by scaring smaller species. The Rakthari came from a planet where everything wanted to kill everything else. They were born hunters. Born fighters. They looked down on species like humans who seemed soft and weak. Human, Vormalik said. His voice sounded like rocks grinding together. I need these containers moved to Bay 7, now. Daewon checked his tablet. Sir, those containers are scheduled for Bay 3. If we move them, it will mess up the whole shipping schedule. Maybe we can... Vormalik moved faster than something that big should be able to move. His massive hand grabbed Daewon by the front of his uniform and lifted him off the ground. Daewon's feet dangled in the air. He could smell Vormalik's breath. It smelled like old meat. I did not ask for your opinion, human. I gave you an order. Your kind needs to learn their place in this galaxy. You are prey. We are predators. Do you understand? Daewon's heart pounded in his chest. He wanted to fight back. He wanted to say something brave. But Vormalik could break him in half without trying. Around the cargo bay, other aliens watched. Some looked sorry for him. Some looked away. Nobody helped. Yes, sir, Daewon said quietly. Vormalik dropped him. Daewon stumbled but stayed on his feet. The Rakthari laughed. It was a cold, cruel sound. Good, and human? These containers are heavy. I want you to move them by hand. No machines. You need the exercise. You look weak. Then Vormalik did something worse. He walked over to one of the containers and pushed it. The container tipped and crashed to the floor. The sound echoed through the cargo bay. Everyone stopped and stared. Oh no, Vormalik said, his voice full of fake concern. You should be more careful, human. These containers are expensive. I hope you can fix this mess before your supervisor finds out. Daewon looked at the damaged container. The contents had spilled across the floor. It would take hours to clean up. Hours of extra work because Vormalik thought it was funny. I will see you tomorrow, human, same time. We will do this again. Vormalik walked away, still laughing. Daewon stood there shaking with anger and shame. An insect-like alien named Kix walked over. He was one of the few beings on the station who talked to humans like they were equals. I am sorry, Daewon, Kix said. Vormalik is like this with everyone smaller than him. Nobody stops him because he has friends in powerful places. Thanks, Kix. Daewon bent down and started picking up the spilled cargo. That night, Daewon sat in his small quarters on the station. He had tried to file a complaint with his supervisor, Hee-Jin. She had listened carefully, then shook her head. Daewon, I believe you. But Vormalik has connections with the Rakthari military and several big trading companies. If we make an official complaint, they might kick all humans off this station. We are still new here. The galaxy does not respect weakness. Right now, they see us as weak. So I just have to take it? Hee-Jin looked sad. For now, I am sorry. I will try to find another way. But we have to be careful. Now Daewon sat alone, staring at the wall. He opened his communication device and called Bo-Ra. She was his best friend from Earth. They had grown up together in Seoul. Now she worked for the Human Expeditionary Research Division, studying alien life and animal behavior. Bo-Ra's face appeared on the screen. She smiled when she saw him, then frowned. Daewon? What is wrong? You look terrible. Daewon told her everything. About Vormalik. About the bullying. About feeling helpless and small. Bo-Ra listened without interrupting. When he finished, she looked angry. That is not right. Someone needs to teach that oversized lizard a lesson. How? He is 3 times my size and 10 times stronger. All these aliens think humans are weak. They think we are just smart prey animals. Maybe they are right. No, Bora said firmly. They are wrong. Humans survived on Earth for thousands of years. We are not prey. We are survivors. We are fighters. We just fight differently than these aliens do. Fight differently how? Bora was quiet for a moment, thinking. Day one, you know what I do, right? I study animals. I compare Earth animals with alien creatures. And you know what I have learned? What? Earth animals are crazy. Like really crazy. Most alien worlds do not have predators as tough as ours. The galaxy thinks they know what predators are. They think it is all about size and teeth and claws. But Earth taught us that the scariest predators are not always the biggest ones. Daewon sat up straighter. An idea was forming in his mind. A wild, probably stupid idea. But maybe it could work. Bora, tell me about the toughest animals on Earth, not the biggest. The toughest. The ones that do not care how big their enemy is. Bora's eyes lit up. She loved talking about animals. Oh, there are so many. Wolverines can fight bears. Cape buffalo will charge lions. Cassowaries can kill with one kick. But if you want the absolute toughest pound for pound, there is only one answer. What is it? The honey badger. Scientists say they are the most fearless animals on Earth. They fight anything. Lions, leopards, even Cape buffalo. They have thick skin that is almost impossible to bite through. They are immune to most venom. And most importantly, they never, ever back down from a fight. Ever. Daewon felt something in his chest. Hope, maybe. Or maybe just the beginning of a plan. Bora, how hard would it be to bring a honey badger to Nexus 7? Bora stared at him. What? Why would you— Oh, Daewon. That is either brilliant or completely insane. Maybe both. Can you do it? She thought about it. Actually, yes. We have been working on protocols for bringing Earth animals into space for research. I have a honey badger here named Tae Yang. He is particularly mean, very healthy, very angry at everything. But Daewon, these animals are dangerous, really dangerous. That is exactly why I need one. Bora smiled slowly. It was not a nice smile. It was the smile of someone who had just realized how to solve a very big problem. Okay. Give me 2 weeks. I will get the permits and arrange transport. But Daewon, be careful. Once you start this, you cannot take it back. I know. After the call ended, Daewon sat in the darkness of his quarters. Tomorrow, Vormalik would come back. He would bully Daewon again. Maybe for the next 2 weeks, Daewon would have to endure it. But after that, things would change. The galaxy thought humans were weak. They thought Earth was a soft, peaceful planet. They had no idea what kind of world humans came from. They had no idea what Earth had taught humanity about survival. Daewon smiled in the darkness. Vormalik wanted to teach him about being prey. Soon the Rekthari would learn something about Earth predators, and about the humans who survived alongside them. Came to the cargo bay. Every day, the Rekthari found new ways to make Daewon's life miserable. On the third day, Vormalik made Daewon reorganize an entire section of the bay. It took 6 hours. When Daewon finished, Vormalik looked at it and said it was wrong. He made Daewon do it again. On the 5th day, Vormalik brought other Rekthari with him. They stood around and laughed while Vormalik made Daewon carry heavy containers back and forth. The containers were not going anywhere. It was just exercise, just entertainment for the giant aliens. On the 8th day, Vormalik found another human worker. Her name was Ji-won. She was young, new to the station. Vormalik started bullying her too. He made her apologize for being human. Made her say that humans were inferior. Ji-won cried afterward. Daewon helped her to the medical bay and felt rage burning in his chest. But through it all, Daewon stayed calm. He took the abuse. He said yes sir and no sir. He did what he was told. And he watched. He watched how Vormalik moved. How the Rekthari was confident to the point of carelessness. How Vormalik always came to the cargo bay at the same time each day. How the alien liked to have an audience. How Vormalik got bored easily and needed new entertainment. Daewon also studied. Every night after work, he read everything he could find about honey badgers. He watched videos that Bora sent him. He saw honey badgers fight lions. He saw them chase leopards up trees. He saw one honey badger get bitten by a cobra, fall asleep from the venom, then wake up a few hours later and keep fighting. The videos amazed him. Honey badgers were small. They only weighed about 30 pounds, but they fought like they were invincible. They did not care about size. They did not care about danger. They just attacked anything that threatened them. Why are they so tough? Daewon asked Bora during one of their nightly calls. Evolution, Bora explained. Honey badgers evolved in Africa alongside lions, leopards, and hyenas. They had to be tough or die. Their skin is really thick and loose. When a predator bites them, the honey badger can twist around inside its own skin and bite back. Their jaws are incredibly strong. They can crack bones and turtle shells. What about their personality? That is the interesting part. Scientists studied their brains. Honey badgers have a different fear response than most animals. They basically do not feel fear the way other creatures do. When they see something bigger than them, they do not think danger. They think challenge. And once they start fighting, they never give up. Never. They will keep attacking until they win or until they physically cannot move anymore. Daewon thought about Vormalik. The Rakthari was used to enemies who ran away or submitted when faced with his size and strength. What would happen when he met something that did not care how big he was? On the 10th day, Bora sent good news. The permits are approved. Taeyang is ready for transport. He will arrive in 4 days. Tell me about Taeyang specifically, Daewon said. He is a male, about 3 years old. That is young for a honey badger, so he has a lot of energy. We found him in South Africa. He had attacked a jeep full of tourists because they were too close to his territory. Attacked the jeep, Daewon, not the people. The vehicle. He was trying to fight a 2-ton truck. Perfect. Daewon, I need to be clear about something. Taeyang is dangerous. If he gets out of his containment, people could get hurt. Badly hurt. You need to be absolutely sure about this plan. I am sure, Bora sighed. Okay, I will be coming with him. Someone needs to handle the animal properly. Plus, I want to see this. On the 11th day, Vormalik seemed to be getting tired of his usual routine. He was looking for something new. Something worse. He cornered Daewon in a quiet section of the cargo bay where no other aliens were working. Human, I have been thinking. You have been very obedient. Very submissive. Like a good little prey animal. This pleases me, so I want to reward you. Daewon said nothing. He knew this was not going to be a real reward. Tomorrow I'm going to bring you to the station cantina. You are going to buy drinks for me and my friends. Then you are going to stand up and tell everyone how grateful you are that superior species like the Rakthari are here to guide weak species like humans. You will do this, yes? Daewon felt his hands curl into fists. He wanted to hit Vormalik. He wanted to refuse. But the honey badger was coming in 3 days. He just had to hold on a little longer. Yes, sir, Daewon said. Vormalik laughed and walked away. That night, Daewon told Heejin about his plan. She stared at him like he was crazy. You want to bring a wild earth predator to this station? It is a research specimen. Completely legal. Bora has all the permits. I am just hosting it in my section of the cargo bay for study. And if Vormalik confronts this animal, then that is his choice. I cannot control what a wild animal does if someone threatens it. Heejin rubbed her temples. She looked tired. Daewon, if that creature hurts Vormalik, there will be consequences. The Rakthari government might demand compensation. They might even declare it an act of war. Only if they can prove I released it intentionally. As far as anyone knows, this is just a research animal. If Vormalik decides to harass it, well, that is his mistake. Heejin studied his face for a long moment. Then she sighed. I cannot officially approve this, but I also cannot stop you if everything is legal. Just promise me you will have a medical team on standby. I promise. The 12th and 13th days passed slowly. Vormalik continued his bullying. The cantina incident happened. Daewon had to stand in front of dozens of aliens and say humiliating things about humans. Some aliens laughed. Some looked uncomfortable. Kix, his insect friend, looked angry, but Daewon got through it. He said the words. He smiled when Vormalik told him to smile. And inside he counted down the hours until Taeyang arrived. On the 14th day, Bora's ship docked at Nexus 7. Daewon met her at the loading platform. She looked exhausted. That was the longest 3 days of my life, she said. Do you know how hard it is to keep a honey badger calm in a spaceship? Is he okay? Oh, he is fine. Angry but fine, come on. Let me show you. They walked to the cargo hold. In the center was a large reinforced container. Through the clear walls, Daewon could see Taeyang. The honey badger was smaller than he expected. Taeyang was about 3 feet long with black and white fur. He looked almost cute. But then the honey badger turned and looked directly at Daewon, and Daewon understood. Taeyang's eyes were not the eyes of prey. They were the eyes of something that had never backed down from anything in its entire life. Tai Yang paced back and forth in the container. His movements were restless, aggressive. He was looking for something to fight. Something to challenge. Beautiful, is he not? Bora said, terrifying. That too. Come on. Let us get him set up in your cargo bay. And Daewon? Once we do this, everything changes. Are you ready? Daewon thought about Jiwon crying. He thought about 2 weeks of humiliation. He thought about Vormalik's cruel laugh. He thought about every human on this station who had been bullied and could not fight back. I am ready. They moved Tai Yang's container to a cleared section of the cargo bay. Bora set up monitoring equipment and safety protocols. The container had a remote release mechanism that Daewon could trigger from his tablet, just in case. Word spread quickly through the station. The human had brought some kind of earth creature. Aliens started coming by to look. Most of them laughed when they saw how small Taeyang was. Is this your guard dog, human? A Threxian trader asked, clicking with amusement. Just a research specimen, Daewon said calmly. But he noticed something. When aliens got too close to the container, Taeyang reacted. The honey badger would charge at the wall, slamming into it hard enough to make the reinforced material shake. The aliens would jump back, startled. They would laugh nervously and walk away. Kix came by in the evening. He looked at Taeyang for a long time. What is this creature, Daewon? A honey badger? From Earth? It seems very aggressive for something so small. That is because it does not know it is small. Kix looked at Daewon. Then he looked at Taeyang. Then he made a sound that might have been a laugh. I think I understand. When is Vormalik scheduled to visit tomorrow? 10 in the morning. Like always. Then I will make sure I am busy elsewhere. Good luck, friend. That night, Daewon could not sleep. Tomorrow, everything would change. One way or another. He just hoped he had made the right choice. In the cargo bay, Taeyang paced in his container, waiting for something he could not name. Something that would let him do what honey badgers did best, fight. Morning came too fast and too slow at the same time. Daewon arrived at the cargo bay at 8. He wanted to be ready. Bora was already there, checking Taeyang's container and preparing her recording equipment. Nervous? She asked. Terrified, Daewon admitted. Good. That means you are thinking clearly. Remember, you do not have to do this. We can load Taeyang back on the ship right now. Daewon shook his head. No. This ends today. By 9:30, word had spread that something interesting might happen in Cargo Bay 5. Aliens started gathering. They tried to look casual, like they just happened to be there. But everyone knew. Everyone was waiting. Yejin arrived with a medical team. She nodded at Daewon but said nothing. She had done what she could. The rest was up to him. At exactly 10 in the morning, Vormalik entered the cargo bay. He was not alone. 3 other Rakthari walked behind him. They were laughing about something. Vormalik looked around the bay and saw the crowd. His amber eyes lit up. He loved an audience. Then he saw Taeyang's container. Vormalik walked over slowly. Daewon stood nearby, trying to look calm. Inside, his heart was pounding so hard he thought everyone could hear it. What is this? Vormalik asked. He was smiling, but it was not a nice smile. A research specimen from Earth, a honey badger. My colleague is studying. A pet, Vormalik interrupted. You brought a pet. Is this supposed to make you feel brave, human? This tiny creature? The other Rakthari laughed. Some of the watching aliens laughed too. Vormalik walked right up to the container. Taeyang was sitting in the middle watching the giant alien approach. On my world, my offspring hunt larger prey than this before they learn to speak. This is what Earth considers dangerous? This little rodent? Vormalik tapped on the container wall with one claw. The sound echoed through the bay. Click, click, click. Taeyang moved. The honey badger launched itself at the wall where Vormalik stood. It hit the reinforced material with shocking force. The impact made a loud bang. Vormalik actually took a step backward. The watching crowd gasped. Taeyang did not stop. The honey badger kept throwing itself at the wall over and over. It made sounds, growls and snarls that seemed too loud for something so small. Taeyang's eyes never left Vormalik. They were locked on the Rakthari, with pure, focused aggression. Vormalik stared at the honey badger. For just a moment, Day One saw something in the Rakthari's eyes. Confusion, maybe, or the first tiny seed of doubt. Then Vormalik laughed again, but it sounded forced. It has spirit. I will give it that. But spirit means nothing without size and strength. He turned to look at Day One. I think your pet wants to fight me. How amusing. Tell me, human. What would happen if we let this creature out? Would it run away? Would it cower like you do? The crowd had gone quiet. Everyone was listening now. Day One felt dozens of eyes on him. This was it. The moment he had been planning for. The moment that would change everything. If you open that container, Day One said slowly, Tai Yang will attack you. He will not run. He will not cower. Honey badgers do not know how to do those things. Attack me? This little animal would attack me? Vormalik spread his arms wide, showing his massive size. Human. I have killed things 10 times larger than this creature. I am a Rakthari warrior. We are apex predators. We fear nothing in this galaxy. Honey badgers do not care what you are, Bo-Ra said. She had stepped forward, holding her recording device. They evolved on a planet where everything was trying to kill them. They fought lions, they fought leopards, they fought cobras and survived. They do not have the brain chemistry for fear. When they see something bigger than them, they do not think danger. They think challenge. Vormalik looked at Bo-Ra, then at Tai Yang, then back at Day One. The Rakthari's smile had changed. It was not confident anymore. It was calculating. He was thinking. One of the other Rakthari spoke up. Vormalik, perhaps we should— No, Vormalik said sharply. I have spent weeks teaching this human his place. Now he brings this animal as some kind of threat, some kind of challenge. I will not be disrespected by a creature that weighs less than my arm. He turned to face the crowd. His voice got louder. You all see this, yes? The human thinks his pet can frighten me. Let us show him what real predators look like. Human, release your animal. Let us settle this once and for all. The crowd murmured. This was more entertainment than they had expected. Daiwan looked at Hyejin. She nodded slightly. The medical team moved closer, ready for anything. Daiwan pulled out his tablet. His hands were shaking. Sir, I strongly advise against this. Honey badgers are classified as dangerous megafauna on Earth. Despite their size, they can cause serious injury. Release it! Vormalik roared. Daiwan touched the screen. The container door hissed open. For a long moment, nothing happened. Taiyang stood at the entrance of the container, looking out at the cargo bay. The honey badger's eyes scanned the crowd. Then they locked onto Vormalik again. Every being in the bay held their breath. Taiyang walked out of the container. Not fast, not rushing, just a steady, confident walk. The honey badger's posture was aggressive. Its back was arched. Its fur stood up, making it look bigger. It made a low, growling sound that filled the cargo bay. Vormalik watched the honey badger approach. The Rakthari's smile faded. He was starting to understand that something was wrong. This creature was not acting like prey. It was not running. It was not scared. It was hunting. Come on then, little beast, Vormalik said. His voice was still confident, but there was something else there now. Uncertainty. Taiyang charged. The honey badger moved faster than most of the aliens could track. 1 second it was 10 feet away. The next second it was launching itself at Vormalik's leg. Taiyang's jaws clamped down just above the Rakthari's ankle. Vormalik roared, not in pain yet, in surprise. He tried to shake his leg. Taiyang held on. The Rakthari reached down to grab the honey badger, his massive hand wrapped around Taiyang's body. This was the moment everyone expected it to end. Vormalik would throw the small creature away. The honey badger would realize it was outmatched. Everything would go back to normal. But that is not what happened. Taiyang twisted inside its own loose skin. Vormalik was holding the honey badger's body, but inside that skin, Taiyang could move freely. The honey badger twisted around and bit Vormalik's hand, hard. Now Vormalik roared in pain. Real pain. He released the honey badger and stumbled backward. Blood was dripping from his hand. Black blood. Rakthari blood. The crowd gasped. Vormalik was bleeding. The mighty Rakthari warrior was hurt by a creature a tenth his size. Tai Yang landed on the ground and immediately attacked again. The honey badger went for Vormalik's other leg. The Rakthari tried to kick, but Tai Yang dodged. The honey badger was incredibly fast. Every time Vormalik swung his massive arms, Tai Yang was somewhere else. Vormalik's claws raked across Tai Yang's back. The claws that could cut through metal. They left marks, but they did not penetrate deeply. The honey badger's thick skin and tough hide turned aside the attack. Tai Yang barely seemed to notice. The honey badger just kept attacking. The fight moved across the cargo bay. Vormalik was trying to get away now, trying to create distance. But Tai Yang followed, relentless, tireless. The honey badger bit Vormalik's leg again, then his arm, then his side. Small wounds, but there were so many of them. Vormalik grabbed a cargo container and threw it at Tai Yang. The container crashed to the floor. The honey badger dodged easily. Vormalik threw another one. And another. He was panicking now. The other Rakthari moved forward to help, but Hyejin stepped in front of them. Your leader challenged the animal. This is his fight. They could have pushed past her, but they did not. They just watched as Vormalik, the feared warrior, ran from a honey badger. The fight had been going on for almost 10 minutes. Vormalik was covered in blood. His breathing was heavy. He was exhausted. But Tai Yang showed no signs of stopping. The honey badger looked like it could fight for hours, for days, forever. Finally, Vormalik saw an equipment locker with an open door. He ran for it and threw himself inside, slamming the door shut. The metal door closed just as Tai Yang reached it. The honey badger threw itself against the door, making it ring like a bell. The cargo bay was silent except for the sound of Tai Yang attacking the locker door and Vormalik's ragged breathing from inside. Nobody could believe what they had just seen. The great Vormalik, the Rakthari warrior who had bullied dozens of species. He was hiding in a locker from a 30-pound earth animal. Daewon walked over to where Tai Yang was still attacking the locker. He held out a piece of meat that Bora had prepared. The honey badger stopped attacking and looked at the food. After a moment, Tai Yang took the meat and allowed Daewon to guide it back to the container using a long pole. Once Tai Yang was secured, the medical team approached the locker. They opened it carefully. Vormalik stumbled out. He was bleeding from a dozen wounds. None of them were fatal, but they were everywhere. His armor of scales had failed him. His size had failed him. His reputation had failed him. Vormalik looked at Daewon. For the first time since they had met, there was no arrogance in the Rakthari's eyes. Only shock and something that might have been fear. Daewon said nothing. He just stood there calm and quiet. He did not need to say anything. Everything had changed. The story spread through Nexus 7 like fire. Within hours, every species on the station knew what had happened. A human had brought an earth creature. A Rakthari warrior had challenged it. The warrior had lost. Different species reacted in different ways. The predator species were shocked and confused. How could something so small defeat someone so large and strong? The prey species felt something they had not felt in a long time. Hope Daewon tried to go about his normal work, but it was impossible. Aliens kept coming by to see Tai Yang. Some wanted to understand how such a small creature could be so dangerous. Others just wanted to see the animal that had defeated Vormalik. Bora gave presentations about honey badgers and earth wildlife. She showed videos of honey badgers fighting lions and leopards. She explained about their thick skin and fearless nature. She talked about Earth's harsh environment and how it had created such tough animals. The aliens listened with growing alarm. Earth had more creatures like this, many more, and humans had evolved alongside them. 3 days after the fight, Kix visited Daewon in the cargo bay. The insect-like alien looked excited. Daewon, do you know what has happened? Nobody has tried to bully the smaller species in 3 days. 3 whole days. The Rakthari are being polite. The Velkari are being respectful. Even the Threxians have stopped their usual tricks. Everyone is nervous now. Nervous of what? Day One asked. Of humans. Of what else you might bring from your world. If a honey badger can defeat Vormalik, what else does Earth have? Everyone is being very careful around humans now. It is wonderful. Day One had not thought about it that way. He had just wanted to stop one bully. But maybe he had done something bigger. Maybe he had changed how the galaxy saw humanity. That afternoon, something unexpected happened. Vormalik came back to the cargo bay. Day One saw him coming and felt his heart start to race. Was Vormalik here for revenge? The Rekthari was alone this time. No friends. No audience. Just him. Vormalik walked slowly. His wounds had been treated, but he still had bandages on his arms and legs. He stopped a few feet away from Day One and stood there for a moment, saying nothing. Day One waited. In the container behind him, Taeyang noticed Vormalik and started pacing. The honey badger remembered. I came to talk, Vormalik said finally. His voice was different. Quieter. Less aggressive. Okay, Day One said carefully. Among my people, when we are defeated in combat, we acknowledge the victor. But this situation is complicated. I was not defeated by you. I was defeated by that creature. Taeyang is not a weapon, Day One said. He is just being himself. Honey badgers fight when they feel threatened. That is what they do. That is what their evolution taught them. Vormalik looked at the container where Taeyang was watching them. That creature felt threatened by me. I am 3 times its size. Size does not matter to honey badgers. They do not have fear the way most animals do. They just see a challenge and they fight. Every time. They never give up. Never surrender. And humans lived on the same planet as them. We learned from them. Vormalik was quiet for a long time. When he spoke again, his voice was thoughtful. I have been thinking about your world, Earth. It must be a very harsh place. It can be. We have predators everywhere. Some are big like lions and bears. Some are small like honey badgers and wolverines. Some are tiny like bullet ants and poison dart frogs. Even our plants can kill you. Humans survived by being smart, by being adaptable, by never giving up, and you brought one of your predators here to teach me a lesson. Day One met Vormalik's eyes. I brought Taeyang here for research. You were the one who challenged him. You wanted to prove you were stronger. You were wrong. Vormalik's scales rippled. It might have been anger or embarrassment or something else. I underestimated you. I underestimated your species. This will not happen again. Good. Because humans are part of the galactic community now. We are not leaving. We will work with everyone who treats us with respect. But we will not be anyone's prey. Not anymore. Vormalik nodded slowly. Then he did something that shocked Day One. The Rekthari bowed. It was small, just a slight lowering of his head. But it was real respect. I came here to apologize. For how I treated you. For how I treated your people. It was wrong. I thought strength was only about size and teeth and claws. Your creature taught me differently. Day One did not know what to say. This was the last thing he had expected. An apology from Vormalik? Thank you, Day One said finally. I accept your apology. Vormalik turned to leave, then paused. Tell me something. Are there many creatures like that one on your world? Many. Honey badgers are just one example. We have wolverines that fight bears, cassowaries that can kill with one kick, Cape buffalo that charge lions, saltwater crocodiles that can bite through steel, hippos that kill more humans than lions do, and those are just the big ones. Our insects and spiders can be deadly too. Vormalik looked disturbed. And humans evolved alongside all of these creatures? Yes, that is why we are the way we are. We had to be smart to survive. We had to work together. We had to learn when to fight and when to avoid fighting. Earth did not make us the strongest or the fastest, but it made us survivors. Vormalik was quiet for a moment. I need to share this information with my government. The Rekthari need to understand what humans really are. We have been thinking of you as weak prey. We were very, very wrong. After Vormalik left, Bora came over. She had been watching from a distance. That went better than I expected. I thought he might try something. I think he learned his lesson. Really learned it. The question is, what happens now? The galaxy knows about honey badgers. They know about Earth. Everything is going to change. Day One looked at Taeyang, who had gone back to sleep in the container. The honey badger did not care about any of this. It had fought. It had won. That was all that mattered to it. Maybe that is a good thing, Day One said. Maybe it is time the galaxy learned that strength comes in many forms. Over the next few days, the changes became more obvious. The Galactic Council requested a full catalog of Earth's dangerous animals. Several species that had been dismissive of humanity suddenly wanted to open trade negotiations. Human merchant ships reported being treated with new respect at ports across the galaxy. But the biggest change was on Nexus 7 itself. Bullying incidents dropped to almost zero. The predator species were being careful now. They did not know what other surprises humans might have, and the prey species had found new confidence. If humans could stand up to bullies, maybe they could too. G1, the young human worker who Vor Malik had bullied, came to thank Day1. You saved us, all of us, not just humans. Everyone who has been pushed around. I did not save anyone, Day1 said. I just showed them that being small does not mean being weak. A week after the fight, Heejin called Day1 to her office. He went nervously, not sure if he was in trouble, but when he arrived, she was smiling. You are being promoted. Senior Freight Coordinator. You will be managing a larger section of the station. Congratulations. Day1 was stunned. But I brought a dangerous animal onto the station. I caused a fight. You brought a properly documented research specimen. For Malik was the one who demanded it be released. The video shows that clearly. And the result? Human standing on this station has never been higher. The council specifically requested that you be promoted. They want humans in more visible leadership positions. Day1 did not know what to say. This had started because he was tired of being bullied. Now everything had changed. That night, Day1 stood in the cargo bay watching Taeyang. The honey badger was eating dinner, completely unconcerned with its fame. To Taeyang, nothing had changed. It was still the same fearless creature it had always been. Bora joined him. I have been approved to open a permanent research center here. We are going to study Earth animals and compare them to alien species. This is going to change how the galaxy understands biology and evolution. Are you going to bring more animals? Eventually. But carefully. The galaxy is not ready for a cassowary or a Cape buffalo yet. We need to ease them into understanding Earth wildlife. Day1 smiled. One honey badger at a time. Exactly. They stood together in comfortable silence watching Taeyang. The honey badger had changed everything without even knowing it. One small creature had shown the galaxy that humans were not to be underestimated. And somewhere else on the station, Vor Malik was having conversations with other Rakthari about what they had learned. About how strength was not just physical. About how the most dangerous opponents were sometimes the ones who simply refused to acknowledge they should be afraid. The galaxy was learning a lesson that honey badgers had known all along. Size does not matter when you refuse to back down, and humanity, having evolved alongside creatures like Taeyang, understood that lesson better than anyone. 6 months passed. Nexus 7 was a different place now. The changes that started with one honey badger had spread throughout the station and beyond. Day1 sat in his new office, reviewing shipping schedules. He still could not believe this was his office. Senior Freight Coordinator. He managed 3 cargo bays now and had a team of workers from 6 different species. They all treated him with respect. Real respect, not fake politeness hiding fear or contempt. His tablet beeped. A message from Bora. Want to give a tour? School group arriving in 20 minutes. Day1 smiled and headed down to the research center. Bora had built an impressive facility in one of the observation bays. The Terran Fauna Research Center had become the most popular attraction on Nexus 7. Aliens came from across the galaxy to see Earth animals and learn about human evolution. When Daiwan arrived, Bora was setting up displays. She had videos ready, information charts, and of course Taeyang in his enhanced habitat. The honey badger had a bigger space now with climbing structures and enrichment activities. He seemed content, though he still attacked the walls whenever certain species got too close. Ready for another group? Bora asked always. Who is it today? Mix of species. But the interesting part is that several Rakthari children are in the group. Their school specifically requested this tour. Day1 raised his eyebrows. That was new. The Rakthari had been very quiet after the incident with Vor Malik. Many of them avoided the research center entirely. The tour group arrived. There were about 20 young aliens of various species. The Rakthari children were easy to spot. They were already bigger than the adults of some species, but their scales were lighter colored and their movements were more curious than aggressive. Bora started the presentation. She showed videos of Earth, forests and oceans and mountains. The alien children watched with wide eyes. Earth looked beautiful. But then Bora showed the animals: lions hunting, crocodiles attacking, bears fighting, hippos charging. The children gasped and made sounds of fear and excitement. These creatures were terrifying. How did humans survive on such a world? Humans survived by being smart, Bora explained. We could not outrun the lions or outfight the bears, but we could outthink them. We learned to use tools. We learned to work together. We learned to avoid danger when possible and fight only when necessary. And slowly, over thousands of years, we became the dominant species on our planet. One of the Rakthari children raised a claw. The guide called on him. My parents said that humans are more dangerous than they look. Is that true? Bora smiled. That depends on what you mean by dangerous. Humans are not the strongest or the fastest, but we are persistent. We are adaptable. And we do not give up easily. Those traits kept us alive on Earth, and they serve us well in the galaxy. Can we see the honey badger now? Another child asked. Bora led them to Tai Yang's habitat. The honey badger was awake, pacing back and forth. When he saw the crowd, he moved to the front of the enclosure and stared at them with those intense eyes. This is Tai Yang, Daewon said, stepping forward. He is a honey badger from Earth. He weighs about 30 pounds. That is very small compared to most predators, but honey badgers are famous for being the most fearless animals on our planet. How can something so small be fearless? A young Threxian asked. Because fear is about perception, not reality. Most animals see something bigger and stronger, and their brains tell them to run away. Honey badgers do not have that response. When they see something bigger, they see a challenge, and they never back down from challenges. One of the Rakthari children moved closer to the habitat. Taeyang immediately reacted, launching himself at the wall near the child. The young Rakthari jumped back, startled. The honey badger stood there growling. See? Daewon said gently. Size does not matter to Taeyang. He sees a potential threat and he responds. This behavior kept honey badgers alive for millions of years on Earth. It works. Is it true that this animal fought my uncle? The same Rakthari child asked quietly. The group went silent. Daewon realized who this child was. For Malik's nephew? Yes, Daewon said carefully. 6 months ago, your uncle challenged Taeyang. They fought. The honey badger won. But I want you to understand something important. That fight taught all of us a valuable lesson. It taught us that strength is not just about size. It taught us that courage comes in many forms. And it taught us to respect each other no matter how different we are. The young Rakthari nodded slowly. My uncle says the same thing now. He says he was foolish and arrogant. He says humans taught him wisdom. Daewon felt a warmth in his chest. Maybe things really had changed. After the tour ended and the children left, Daewon stayed behind with Bora. They watched Taeyang settle down for a nap. You know what the best part is? Bora said. Bullying rates on this station are down by 80%. 80%. Species that used to be afraid to speak up are now confident. Species that used to be bullies are now thinking twice. All because of one honey badger. Not just the honey badger. You helped. Heejin helped. Everyone who stood up helped. True. But Taeyang was the catalyst. He showed everyone that being small does not mean being weak. As if hearing his name, Taeyang opened one eye and looked at them. Then he went back to sleep. Later that evening, Daewon met with Heejin in the station cantina. It was the same place where Vormalik had humiliated him 6 months ago. But now when Daewon walked in, other beings nodded at him respectfully. Some came over to shake his hand or thank him for what he had done. You have become quite famous, Hyejin said, smiling. I did not want fame. I just wanted respect. You got both. And you got it for all humans, not just yourself. The Galactic Council is talking about giving humanity a seat on the Security Committee. That has never happened for a species so new to the galaxy. All because of a honey badger. All because you knew when to stand up and how to do it smart. You did not fight Vormalik yourself. You brought something that could... You used your environment. You adapted. That is very human. As they talked, someone approached their table. Daewon looked up and saw Vormalik standing there. The Rakthari looked different now. Less aggressive. More thoughtful. May I sit? Vormalik asked. Daewon gestured to an empty chair. The Rakthari sat down carefully. I wanted to tell you both something. The Rakthari government has issued new guidelines for interacting with other species. We are teaching our children about respect and cooperation instead of dominance. Your honey badger started this change, but humans completed it. You showed us that the galaxy is not about who is strongest. It is about who can adapt and survive together. That is a big change, Heejin said. It is necessary. We Rakthari have been apex predators for so long that we forgot other forms of strength exist. We needed to be reminded. I am grateful it was you who reminded us and not someone with less restraint. Daewon nodded. No hard feelings? Vormalik made a sound that might have been a laugh. I still have scars from your animal. But no hard feelings. Only respect. They sat together for a while, three beings from different worlds talking about the future. Outside the cantina, Nexus 7 hummed with activity. Hundreds of species working together, trading, learning, growing. And in a research center not far away, a small honey badger named Tae Yang slept peacefully. He did not know that he had changed the galaxy. He did not know that his fearless nature had taught ancient predators about respect. He did not know that his simple refusal to back down had made life better for countless beings. He just knew that he had fought when challenged. He had won, and now he could rest. That was enough for a honey badger. Weeks later, Daewon received a message from Earth. It was from the Human Expeditionary Council. They wanted to know if he would be interested in helping establish more research centers throughout the galaxy. They wanted to show other species what humanity was really about. Not through weapons or threats, but through understanding and education. Daewon thought about it. 6 months ago, he had been a low-level freight coordinator being bullied by an alien warrior. Now he had the chance to shape how the galaxy saw humanity. He accepted. Bora was excited when he told her, "We can bring more animals, not just honey badgers. We can show them wolverines and cassowaries. We can teach them about Earth's incredible biodiversity. This is going to be amazing." "Just promise me one thing," Daewon said. "What? No hippos?" "The galaxy is not ready for hippos." Bora laughed. "Deal. We will ease them into it. One terrifying Earth creature at a time." As the months passed, the changes continued. Human ships were welcomed at ports that had previously turned them away. Human traders got fair prices. Human diplomats were listened to. And everywhere humans went, they brought knowledge about Earth and its incredible animals. The galaxy learned that humanity had survived on a planet where danger lurked everywhere, where even small creatures could be deadly, where evolution had created animals with no fear and no quit, and humans had not just survived there. They had thrived. That said something about humanity. It said they were tough. They were smart. They were survivors. They were not to be underestimated or dismissed. 1 year after the fight, Nexus 7 held a special ceremony. They were dedicating a statue in the main plaza. When the covering was removed, the crowd gasped. It was a statue of a honey badger, small but fierce, captured in a moment of defiance.